Welcome to the city, Mastermind City. Hi, I'm Faye Chappell.
And I'm Stacey Maynard. Join us for a vibrant, uplifting, and inspiring conversation as we focus on how you can make a lasting impact on a global scale. Because the truth is, we're here because we want you to win.
So are you ready? Are you ready to build your unique message, showcase your brand advantage, get visibility, and make an impact? Well, if you are, then you're in the right place. Welcome to the city.
Hey, I'm in Toronto.
You are. I love it. Love the background.
You know what's really cool about having backgrounds? I might have felt like I should have been in Rome today. Flash up Rome. I feel like I'm a broadcaster on TV.
Exactly. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I just was like, what do I feel like today? And at first I put up a picture of the beach, and then I thought, no, everyone will get jealous. So I better put a city picture.
Well, you know what? That's okay because, so as you know, we do our networking power hour on Tuesday mornings. So yesterday, our community director, Linda, was not able to make it. So she asked me to fill in, which I love doing once in a while. I love to touch base. They get to see, us once in a while and sort of learn about sort of what's going on. And I get to connect with them, which is great. Yeah. And one of the questions was, if you could work anywhere with your laptop, where would it be?
Right.
And some people were like, tiny village, in like France, for example. But she was very specific on tiny village so that, the afternoon she could go for a quick walk and see everything, but she wasn't feeling like she was pulled in a lot of different directions. So one person did say the city. Yeah. And one person said the beach. So I can see, yes, people are jealous. People always think about working at the beach. But it's interesting because I feel like when I'm at the beach, I'm pulled to kind of go and sit and read. Whereas in a city, I feel like it's that hustle and bustle and I get the energy of the city. And I feel like I want to work and I'm in work mode when you're in the city, even though there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, no, I'm a big city, how much I love the city, any cities. When, it came around to vacation time, where do we go on vacation? I'd always pick a city, right? And my husband would always pick a beach.
Right.
And we would always go, I'd be like, no, I want to go to New York. I want to go to San Francisco. I want to go to Rome. I just like to walk around. But in terms of working, because I was so used to working from a hotel room in the middle of a city with a beautiful view of the city. Right. So for me, it is always that way. So now at not in the studio, but at the cottage, the one on the water, I have a desk set up that I look out over the water, which is great. So you still look at the water, but you're still sitting behind a desk. I'm not a big bring your laptop to the beach person because I don't like my tech to get grossed out by sand and stuff.
So, I'm just not focused there. And so I know you and I have had this conversation a few times about your work environment and the fact that you've had to work everywhere. So you can pull up in a hotel room, you can be in a coffee shop and you can get as much done. I'm not the same. I haven't had that experience. I've been at a desk, so I'm used to sort of my space to be able to work. I can't do it at a beach.
No.
There's too much distraction. There's too much. I just want to look at the water. That's where, again, I want to curl up. To me, that's the space for the digital detox or the self-care, right? I want to sit there with a book so that I can, or people watch or whatever the case may be, but I'm not interested in bringing my laptop.
No, and it's nice to have those. Like we've been talking about it a lot, about getting outside and getting a break from everything. And it's important. So yesterday, as I traveled between, my place on the water and the farm, I was driving down and like you're right on the beach, right? And then I just said, you know what? I never stop. I never actually stop and get out of my car because I'm always looking at the view, but I'm not in the view, if that makes sense. So I stopped. Nobody's there. I stopped, parked, went out and sat on the sand for like, half an hour, 30 minutes or so with no one there. Stunningly beautiful view. And it was really, really nice. But I promised, I said, I'm going to sit down and enjoy myself. I'm not going to do anything while I'm sitting here. But most of us, we don't, it's like we forget. It's sometimes when I'm, all the years prior when I'd be sitting in the cottage and looking out on the water and working, I didn't really notice the view because it was there. Right?
Right.
I didn't appreciate it. So now I'm really trying to go, okay, take this in because you're fortunate that you have this. And it does. It makes the day feel a lot better. So
well, and it does. And you're right. Get into the view, because sometimes you're right. You pass by it and you don't think about it. You pass by it and you're like, yeah. Or you pass by it on your phone.
Yeah.
Because that's unfortunately a reality, right? Yeah. We're like, oh, we're on the phone, we're talking, we're texting, while we're walking. And it's like,
while we're walking,
this beautiful view. No, you're not.
I took one picture. I sent it to you. I took one picture and then I put my phone down because I was going to make some calls and I'm like, no, I'm going to sit down and watch it. So it was lovely.
Now I can work in my backyard. Now my wonderful view outside my office is a beautiful brick wall of the next door neighbor's house.
That's always nice.
Well, it's not distracting. I may or may not know the number of dark bricks versus light bricks when I'm waiting for something to download, but I know I can't get distracted.
Yeah.
Except for the counting. But that's good because I'm in my office, I can look. And we were talking about, so, in our transition of our house, I miss my other office that my husband moved into when COVID started. But now we're going through another transition. I'm like, how can I get this office back? But the difference is that it looks outside the front of our house and it's very distracting. So there's a lot to be said for busy cities.
And I would say, you have this place, right? And you're going to be in our studio most of the summer. So let him have the office that looks on the street.
Well, absolutely. Because what I like is the fact, and I told him that actually, because I like my office, but I also like the fact that I'm not distracted. I get my work done. I'm in my bubble. And then when I want to look outside, you're right. I go and I enjoy the view.
Yeah. And I have no distractions because I'm in the middle of a forest. And then on the other side, I'm on the water with no neighbors. So I literally have no distractions except for maybe a couple of ducks, a couple of, once in a while the deer go by and, some
squirrels,
turkeys, and
chickens.
And the chickens. Yeah, the chickens.
But that's okay because a forest to me can be just such a serene place when you're walking through. That's where I find I'm probably most quote unquote present.
Yeah,
is when I'm in the forest because there's not the distraction of other people, and I can hear. The footsteps on the ground. I can hear the birds chirping, the leaves rustling. Like I'm very present and aware of all the different sounds around. Right. Whereas I find at a beach, there's just usually a ton of people and I don't get to enjoy the beach.
Yeah.
Unless you go when there's no one there.
So I'm thinking, I don't have anything specific to talk about, but what I was what's been on my mind the last couple of weeks because I've not been on it a lot is social media, and and because I haven't we've been in the midst of stuff, and I was sick, and still and I just don't feel like I'm just not up to really going on camera on a daily basis and talking because my brain's still a little bit foggy. But what's interesting is when I was in the car yesterday and I was listening to Sirius because that's what I always listen to. They were talking about how so many people are taking these digital detoxes now and not going on social media for, 14 days because, and what they're finding is how much more productive they are and how they feel better. And so it's fascinating to me because it's a dilemma because on one hand, we teach people how to get visible and how to use social media to their advantage. Not the only thing. You don't have to, okay? But we do teach that as part of what we do. And then on the other hand, because we're in this dilemma, on the other hand, we also are teaching and we're doing our summit in August about self-care and mental well-being and stuff. So how do we, and then on that side, we're like, okay, walk through the forest and take a break. So how do you marry it? What are you seeing out there as trending and recommending?
Well, it's very interesting that you say that because I'm seeing a lot of posts about I'm taking a break and they're putting it out there.
Yep.
And then I saw a TikTok about, why are you telling people? What's the point?
Yeah.
You don't have to announce it to the world that you're doing this. So I'm kind of on the side of the announcement side, because number one, you're setting an example, right? I'm taking a break. Doesn't mean I'm leaving the platform. I'm taking a break. But I think it's how you use it. So I was having a conversation with somebody over the weekend, and they had left Facebook, deleted their account. They're like, we're done. I'm done. Like, done with Facebook.
Right.
And all of a sudden, she's missing out on friend connections, things that people are doing, not necessarily just business. She was missing out on business things because there's a lot of resources and Facebook groups and fantastic conversations that are taking place on, and very positive conversations that are taking place on social media.
Right.
So I think I would say, if you see a lot of negative stuff and you're constantly being bombarded with people who are saying negative things, then you need to look at how you're using social media.
Right.
Because I told her, like, go back on. I mean, for everybody that doesn't know, if you leave Facebook, you never actually leave Facebook.
Right.
Like, as soon as you go to log in again, even if it's been a year, boom, there's her account. They never delete it.
Right.
So she logs back in and boom, there's her account, and she's good. Her page is gone, but her personal account is there. So she was able to reconnect with people. She was able to start joining a couple of different groups. So again, if you feel like you need that, but what I also, because I've actually did, oh my God, I can't remember. I think I made a digital detox challenge way back in my day. I've done a lot of stuff. And one thing I recommend is a timer.
Right.
Even if it's an egg timer, put a timer on your phone, put a little hourglass, whatever the case may be, get in, get out. Because it's extremely beneficial. There's a lot of resources there. Again, there's a great way to build relationships, but it also can be a time suck.
Yeah.
And you can get lost. I mean, people, they joke about it, right? I opened up my TikTok app at 9 o'clock in the morning to look at it for 5 minutes, and now it's noon and I haven't done anything else. So it's a lot about discipline. So I think if you can set a timer, go in with intention and get out, I think that will be hugely beneficial. And then you won't feel the need for the digital detox.
Well, yeah, I agree. But I do think, and I've done it several times now. And so if you look, we have the luxury of, we have, someone that posts for us and looks after us. If we ask her to, she'll do whatever we need to. So, I mean, if we don't show up and we decide we want to post, we can get somebody to do it. But I think I think it would be good if you're posting every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, it would be good for you to just chill for a couple of days and see what that feels like, so that you can maybe, as you said, reschedule yourself after that. But there's nothing wrong with going cold turkey for 5 days, right? And then going, okay, this is how I'm going to, tiptoe into the water again. And do it so that I'm functioning well, because this is what bothers me about social media, and in particular TikTok, like TikTok and Reels and stuff. I hate when people are somewhere, and as we talked about just at the beginning of this segment, where we said, you're be in the view, not watching it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people who are doing Reels and TikToks are not in the experience.
Right.
All they're doing is filming for it to be on the screen. So they're like, oh, let's go here. Let's go to this festival because it'll look great on TikTok. And they film it, but they haven't experienced it. So, it's, it reminds me, for example, I go to concerts all summer long, and you're going to be coming with me. And I used to, I never really posted during the concert. The only time I would do is I would do a live so that you could be in the experience. But I never posted till after. And I'd always watch, I'd look around me and I'd watch these people taking pictures and posting right away. And they're missing the entire concert. And I feel like sometimes that's what people, unfortunately, are so engrossed with, I got to post, because that's what, anyone who's on TikTok, for example, TikTok consultants tell you, right? Like, you got to post 1 to 3 times a day until you get your algorithms. And so it's like, whoa, that's a lot of pressure. And it's not even just the pressure. Again, it's like you're missing the experience of life. Like, that's what you're missing. And I know if you're younger, you're going to poo-poo me and go, oh, she's old, she doesn't understand. But it's true. Like, you when you're my age, you'll realize it.
Well, it's also about just the documentation. So I remember years ago, we would go to a particular cottage, and I was very focused on making sure I documented. So I brought my big camera, and I was constantly taking pictures of the kids and different, scenarios and stuff like that throughout my day. And one year I forgot my camera.
Right.
I thought I was going to cry. I was this close to driving back home, which is 3.5 hours away. So I would be driving for 7 hours just to go get my camera. And I went, no, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what? It was the best time.
It is. It's always the best.
Because I didn't feel that I had to document. I could actually enjoy.
Right.
So
it's all about being present. It's mindfulness. It really is. It's being present with what you're doing. And when you do that, the experience is so much better. So, as I was going through this, I was thinking, we're doing our, again, our summit in August. I said to Stacey the other day, let's do a 5-day, and let's run it maybe starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let's do it a weekend time, and let's have an option as trying to get people to do a digital detox for those 5 days. So, like, you can watch the summit, which is not social media or anything, right?
It's not social media.
No, you can. It's essentially what we want you to experience as a live event, throughout the forest and what we're doing. So let's take those 5 days and let's see if you can say, okay, let's take these for me. Let me experience walking through the forest. Let me experience self-Reiki. Let me experience mindfulness and meditation. Let's figure out how to bring this into our lives on a daily basis. And then what happens? Your business gets better.
Well, absolutely. And just going back to, do you document, do you publicize that you're leaving a particular platform? I think it's okay to do that because, again, if you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to go focus on me. I'm doing this summit for 5 days. Part of the 5 days is to do a digital detox or just to take a break from feeling that pressure, I guess. And that's the problem, is that we're in a meditative state and we're like, oh, wait, I should post this, or I should do this, or I should, and I'm like, what world have we gotten into that we feel that necessity to, share with everybody? So yeah, I think it's good. I think people need to know, like, we kind of say, we haven't been on, something's coming, we're working on the back end. Like, we kind of, did a post that says we're not as active. Yeah. And I think it's important because you do build relationships with people online, and all of a sudden if you disappear, people are like, where'd she go?
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's okay to say that, but I also think it's okay to take the time.
Yeah.
And if you can take the time, again, do things with intention, be part of the summit with intention.
Yeah.
Walk in the forest with intention, not because you're just
not like you have to take a picture,
Yeah, not because you want
to in 30 seconds. You could take a bunch of pictures and post them tomorrow, right? It does not have to be immediate, because I think people think sometimes when they're watching these things, they think, oh, it's happening. No, they went home and they edited it all and put it all together majority of the time. So, like, there's nothing wrong with saying, like, I've taken a bunch of pictures here at the farm and at the forest. And, when I want to put them together, I will. I'm just not interested right now, but occasionally I take a picture and that's it. But I want to enjoy, as I said, I want to enjoy the experience. So I took a picture of the beach. I sent it to you and that was it. And then I just sat there and enjoyed it. And I think there's a huge lesson for people there. And sometimes, like yesterday, I didn't feel well at all. Brain wasn't working. And again, we've talked about this before. Rather than, trudging through, I accepted it and said, okay, let me just go, sit for 30 minutes, do whatever. And today I'm better. So, you have to try to be in that moment and go, okay, maybe I need to, switch gears here. pivot, whatever word you want to use.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Let's see what will make us feel better. And again, we always try to relate this to not only how you feel better personally and how you're going to get better, but if you feel better, then your business feels better. Your business gets better because you can focus on it in a different way. So we're not trying to say, hey, put the business over here and don't worry about it. No. We're saying that if you don't look after yourself, and I'm, notorious for not. So if you don't, pay attention, then your business is going to suffer.
And you know what? I was having I've talked to a lot of people, I feel like. Even
though you were networking yesterday. I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so there's somebody who feels, I don't know if you want to use the word pressure, but feels like they should post daily.
Right.
So she was going on vacation. This was a few weeks ago. And she was going on vacation. She's the type of person that does not tell people she's away, but she wants to enjoy the time. But she also feels obligated to her audience, because she has a pretty big following, to post daily. So what she did is she pre-did it.
Right.
So she pre-scheduled. She did a few images, but mainly video. That's her thing. She does a sort of a short video. So she did 7 of them. She just took the time before she left. She did 7 of them and pre-scheduled them.
Right.
So in that particular case, her audience doesn't know that she's away. Her audience isn't missing her content. She's staying in front of them, but she's also enjoying her vacation.
Exactly.
So she's that person. She feels like, that kind of promise to her community is that she posts on a daily basis, but she also wants to take a break. So that's her middle ground. She didn't do long videos. She did very short ones, or she did an image with a short caption, something that just, again, kept her account active. But then when she got back, she was able to just pick it up, and I was on vacation and here I was, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's not a problem doing that as well. If you do feel like you can't say to your community, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
That is an interim solution as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So prepare. But I like the digital, I like the concept of the digital detox. I think it's not just not posting though. It's also not going on and checking out your feeds. So you actually stay off of social media. So maybe not a digital detox, it's actually a social media detox.
Yeah.
Because there is still a lot that we have to do on our computers, especially when we're talking about doing a summit. That summit is online. So we do need to be on our computers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it is, I'm really excited about it because it is, I feel like everything's been moving towards us doing that again. And we do practice a lot of it on a daily basis. And we just don't share that as much as obviously what we do most of the day, which is really visibility, brand, business training. And so it's great to be able to say, this is how you incorporate it in. And so that you don't feel like all you do is work. Exactly.
And that you're enjoying, you're right. I think the business benefits that you get from doing that are things that I don't think you could plan for. You come back, you're more energized, you're more focused. Again, if you let yourself, when you're having a day like you were having yesterday, if you allow yourself to take that time, you will be so much more productive and focused and action oriented the next time you sit down at your computer, because your brain just feels better.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. So we have a lot of work to do. We're in the final stretch of getting this particular piece out into the world. We are like this close. We've just got a couple more pieces.
Because there's always a little hiccup.
There's always little hiccups. Like it just, and I just want to leave with this one very important piece of advice. For the love of everything, make sure you test everything. Even if you think it's set up. Yeah. Even if you think this was done years ago, it always worked. I'm good. Test it anyway. Test links. Test on different computers. Go to your Google Chrome and go incognito mode. Go to somebody else's computer, type it in, see what they see, do it outside of your system.
Exactly.
Because you never know. Like there was one thing that I didn't even know, and I check everything. Like so when something pops up, so what I didn't know, just to share this final tip on for anybody who uses Vimeo. Vimeo is an incredible platform for sharing videos. You can customize the way it looks, and you don't have to have all of the different pieces. All of it is very clean looking. You can add your logo to the video. Very good. But at the end of the video, what they have as default is more videos.
Yeah. You have to turn it off.
Well, what was really interesting was even if that video is unlisted, it still shows up. So for example, we do our brand Jumpstart and we record it. Yeah. And we put it up. So instead of sending people a big file, right? Because it's an hour and it's a big video file, we put it up on Vimeo. Obviously, it's not listed. Only people that can see it have the link. So we send them a link with a review of everything so they can watch the video. They can do a whole recap, all of that kind of stuff. But what I realized was one of our videos that I did, the end screen was more videos, and some of our brand Jumpstarts were there. So nobody saw them. They're all private. Yeah, I assure you. But I realize, and that's why it's so important to pretend you're a client and go through everything so that you can go, oh, there's the hiccup. Oh, or have somebody else go through it. That is my biggest tip of today.
Yeah, think about it like when you're watching YouTube. When it goes one, goes to the next, right? It's the same thing. You didn't want to watch the next one. It just naturally, it's like a feed, right? It's no different than a social media
feed. But you can customize that.
Yes.
So I was able to go through and now, so it's just, sometimes you miss all of those little things until you go through it.
And sometimes, like on my end yesterday, you're at the home stretch. You're just ready to get over the line. And then you go, well, hang on a second. What do you mean I can't do this? So there's a little hiccup. And so you have to fix it. But that's okay. You just have to go around it. For those of you who think you're never going to do it, you're never going to be able, because we do. I mean, what we just talked about, what Stacey just talked about is like, oh my God, I know a lot of you are going, I could never figure out how to do all that. I'm not, there's no way I'm like you guys, whatever. I want to just point out, did anyone watch the Kentucky Derby? The long shot of the entire Derby, who had just got in because somebody dropped out, just got in the day before or something, 80-1. The long shot. And what was really funny is as I was watching it, I'm watching it and, this long shot wins. You should see this horse after. He's like, it was like a teenage kid. He wasn't acting, like he was like, goofy and strutting and bugging the other horses. He wasn't the very, calm, I'm like the number
proper horse.
Yeah, not like I'm the number 1, 2, and 3 horse. I'm the freaking 80-1 horse, and I won. So I'm pretty badass. So for those of you who think that you might not be able to do it, you might be that 80-1 guy who shows up in first place.
Awesome. You have yourself a great week, and we will see you here next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us here in the Mastermind City. You don't have to say goodbye because there's other ways that you can join us.
You can access our free trainings, masterclasses, and learn how you can work one-on-one with us. Join us at themastermindcity.com, and we will see you in the city.